Installing Ubuntu Server. A simple walkthrough for Ubuntu Server 14.04 LTS. Needed to complete this walkthrough: a CD, a USB memory with Ubuntu Server 14.04 LTS. Check out Pendrive Linux for creating a USB stick with the installation. A computer to install the Ubuntu Server on. See Ubuntu Server 14.04 LTS system requirements for details. Internet connection, not mandatory. Some experience working with computers and the terminology. This walkthrough is kept at a very basic level with a minimum of knowledge needed. First steps. Insert the CD or USB memory with the Ubuntu Server installation. Make sure that any files you wish to save have been copied. Turn off your computer. When the computer boots up, a menu with a selection of languages will show up. Selecting menu language. In this menu, you can select the language you wish the installer to use. For English, just press Enter and proceed with the installation. Navigation throughout this installation is done via the Enter, Tab, Space and Arrow keys. The walkthrough will tell you when to press which key at first so you get comfortable navigating. The main setup menu. You are presented with a number of choices here, some of which can be used to ensure that your computer is functioning properly. To proceed with the installation, select Install Ubuntu Server and press Enter. Operating system language. Choosing the language for the rest of the installation and continued use of the operating system. On server operating systems, English is the preferred language, ensuring a greater compatibility with existing programs. To choose another language, press the up, down keys and enter when done. Location selection. Select where you are located in the world via the up, down keys and enter when done. This walkthrough will focus on installing Ubuntu Server with Swedish settings. If your country is not among those listed, go to Other and press Enter. Region selection. Selecting the region that you are in with the up, down keys and then press Enter. Remember, this guide will show how to install Ubuntu Server with Swedish settings, but you can use it for any other language, country as well. Just select the applicable region. Select country. Now select your country and press the Enter key. You can press the corresponding key to the first letter in your country's name on the keyboard and it will jump to that section. Locale settings. Due to the combination of English as the language but Swedish as the location, the setup is unable to give the correct locale, but worry not. Press Enter and choose the default selection. Advanced users may wish to change this later, but for normal use it is of little importance. Selecting keyboard. The installation has an automated test you can use if you are unsure of which keyboard layout you are using, but in this walkthrough, we will select No and manually choose. You will get a list of countries. Choose yours. In this walkthrough, Swedish will be chosen. A selection of different keyboards for your country will show. Choose the one you prefer. Choosing a host name. The installation will proceed a bit further and then give you the task of choosing a host name. A host name is simply what your computer will call itself over the network. Choose one that allows you to easily identify the computer. Full name. Select a name for your user. You can enter both your full name or a nickname. Username. Now it is time to choose the username. If this is not the same as the name you previously entered, the username is what you enter when you log into the computer. Password. Select as password for your user. Choose a good password that you are not using anywhere else. You will have to enter the password twice, and if it is an unsecure password, it will prompt you. Examples of bad password are summer2014123456, password 1. Encryption. The installation will ask you if you wish to encrypt your home folder. While this is good for security, it can also slow your computer down slightly and make it harder to copy your files in the future. For the sake of simplicity, this walkthrough will not encrypt the directory. Time zone. The installation will try to detect your current location and set the time zone for you. If it is correct, choose yes. If it is not, choose no, and you will be presented with a list of cities. Scroll through the list and select the one closest to you. Hard drive setup. This is one of the more challenging parts, but luckily there is a guided and easy alternative. Choose guided, use entire disk. Select the hard drive you wish to use. If you are happy with the proposed settings, press enter. Finalizing the settings. If you still have files on your drive you wish to save, now is the time. Otherwise, press enter again. The installation begins. Now the installation will start copying files to your hard drive. It can take some time, so be patient. The installation will ask you for something called a proxy to use for internet connection. For most people this is not needed, so just press enter. Once that is done, it will download important files from the internet. If there is no connection, it will use what you have on the CD or USB memory. Security updates. You can choose to handle updates on your own or let your system do it for you. While it might be safer for the system to handle the updates, it could also disrupt work on the computer, but in this walkthrough we will let the computer handle everything. Services. Now you get to select a few services you wish to have on your server. For instance, a web server, LAMP, mail server and file server. The most important one is the OpenSSH server, as that one allows for remote control and administration of your Ubuntu server. Select it with the space key and then press the tab key followed by enter to finalize your choices. Bootloader. The bootloader is something that starts your operating system up when you boot your computer. It will configure itself, and unless you have an exotic setup, you just have to press enter. The installation is complete. Congratulations, you have now installed Ubuntu Server 14.04 LTS. Before you press anything, remove the CD or USB memory first. Then press enter to reboot your computer. The login screen. Once your computer has rebooted, you should be presented by this login screen. First enter your username. Then it will prompt you for your password. Do note that it will not show up when you type it in. You will then be presented by a screen of information regarding your computer, and you are now ready to use Ubuntu Server 14.04 LTS. Welcome to the world of Linux. You have now taken your first steps into the world of Linux, an open-source, free alternative. You can do any number of things with your new Ubuntu Server 14.04 LTS, such as hosting a website or using it as a dedicated gaming server. The possibilities really are endless, but Linux can seem a bit daunting at first. Use your new system to explore and learn. There are plenty of beginner guides on the internet. Thank you for using this walkthrough.